While most players become legends for their accomplishments on the field, nothing etches a player into MLB lore quicker than a great nickname. From the Machine, to King Felix, to the Sandman, every name tells a unique story. That's why I'm breaking down the best nicknames in MLB history and where they came from. And who better to start with than one of the best to ever do it, David Big Papi Ortiz. The 6'3" Red Sox legend was extraordinary in every aspect of his playing career, except for one. He was terrible at remembering his teammate's first name.
David did not know your real first name was Dustin?
Yeah, he called me Pee-wee.
I think if you can hit as well as David did, then you should be able to call people whatever you want, but the name that he chose was Papi due to his Dominican heritage. Since David referred to so many people as Papi when his popularity rose in the Sox 2004 World Series run, broadcaster Jerry Remy decided the best name to call David would be Big Papi for his larger-than-life personality and swing. But countless MLB players have embraced larger-than-life nicknames, like Mariners' Randy Big Unit Johnson and Mark Big Mac McGuire. Then you have Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, who got his nickname after playing in over 2,000 consecutive games. Or baseball legend at the end of our list, who has no doubt the most famous and recognizable nickname of all time. Then there's 5'10" but 270-pound Pablo Sandoval, who got his nickname when teammate Barry Zito saw him skirt a tag at the plate in sensei-like fashion and knew that he needed a name to match his huge but agile moves. At the time, the Kung Fu Panda craze was at its peak, and Zito, being a fan, began comparing Pablo's playstyle to the movie's protagonist, Po.
Ah, my old enemy. Stairs.
While the movie craze came and went, the Panda became a staple of the San Francisco Giants and is one of their all-time fan favorite players. But Sandoval wasn't the only dominant third baseman to rain down home runs this decade, because with a nickname like the Bringer of Rain, Josh Donaldson must have been hitting a crapload of dingers, right?
Nacion, this is the guy that scares me the most. I mean, he looks like he's going to hit a home run every time he comes to the plate.
While Josh certainly rained many baseballs down over the fence, the nickname really came from a less entertaining source. Josh actually gave himself the nickname after hearing it in an episode of Spartacus, Blood and Sound. But the fact that most people assumed it was from peppering the stands with homers means that he must have been doing something right. And so was 2020 Minnesota Twins teammate Nelson Boomstick Cruz, who got his nickname after an MLB 2K10 advertisement where he taunted pitcher Andrew Bailey with a diagram showing what would happen the next time they faced each other.
There's me with my boomstick.
Another ex-Mariner with a killer nickname is Felix Hernandez, a next-level pitcher whose incredible stuff at just 17 years old prompted a post on a Mariners blog website that read, "All hail King Felix." The team was hesitant to call Felix the King out of fear it would bolster up his ego, but it didn't seem to matter, because the King went on to pitch for 15 lights-out years and throw one of only 24 perfect games in baseball history. Speaking of baseball history, sometimes players are so unbelievable, so timeless, so earth-shattering, that their nickname describes their skills as almost mythic. That is the case for Sandy Koufax, a player that most consider to be one of the greatest pitchers of all time, and who was given the very fitting name of the left arm of God. While the nickname the right arm of God has yet to be bestowed, I can think of one already nicknamed player that it could work for. Only the greatest closer of all time, Mariano Rivera. In folklore, the Sandman is a creature that sprinkles sand in children's eyes to make them sleepy. And while Mo definitely wasn't visiting any children in the middle of the night, his lights-out pitching was so good that batters had just as good a chance of getting a hit on him while sleeping. And so, the Sandman was born.
42. Mariano Rivera.
There to assist Mo on the Yankees was none other than Hideki Matsui, who got his nickname while playing in Japan. Hideki was an unstoppable force in the batter's box, and due to his imposing stature and powerful swing, it didn't take long for Japanese fans to compare Matsui to the iconic Godzilla. Other famous players with nicknames based on an animal include Pete Polar Bear Alonso, Ron the Penguin Say, and Williams La Tortuga Astudillo, who got his nickname at 15 for a reason he can't remember, but after running to home plate and somehow looking as slow as a turtle, I think it fits. While Williams may not have the fastest speed, I think Pete Rose would have approved of his effort because Pete played ball with some of the most hustle the game had ever seen. Pete was once quoted saying, "I'd walk through hell in a gasoline suit to play baseball." And because of that can-do spirit, he was given the very logical name of Charlie Hustle.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Someone Pete probably would have hated is none other than Mike Hargrove, who was nicknamed the Human Rain Delay because of how much time he would take adjusting his helmet, gloves, and pants before stepping in the batter's box.
To the nose, again a readjustment of the glove, again a readjustment of the donut, readjust the glove.
I think I should give that nickname to my girlfriend before date night. That is if I could even hold on to her after showing Noah Syndergaard's beautiful hair on screen. Noah dominated hitters all the time on the mound. When you combine his luscious locks with a lightning quick fastball, his nickname of Thor just makes oh so much sense.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
Another Mets icon with a killer nickname is none other than Francisco Lindor, who plays the game with some of the most joy that the sport has ever seen. He plays so happily that teammates and fans fell in love with the smile that was always on his face, winning him the awesome nickname of Mr. Smile. While Manny Machado might not be responsible for as many fan smiles as Lindor, he makes the stands most happy with his cannon arm that can reach first base from all corners of the infield.
Manny Machado, foul territory, long throw!
With such a brick wall at third base, it didn't take long for Machado to be nicknamed the Minister of Defense, a title that he is so deserving of. And so was Albert the Machine Pujols, who was so dominant at hitting baseballs that it was joked he must be made of machine parts to be able to hit it so far. Or Ryan the Hebrew Hammer Braun, who earned his title from hitting baseballs so hard that the Bear Jew from Inglourious Bastards would be proud. Nobody has hit baseballs quite as hard as Reggie Jackson though, because during his time in the league, he hit a whopping 563 home runs. Reggie was the epitome of a clutch power hitter, and after knocking 3 home runs in a single Yankees playoff game, Mr. October was born, one of the greatest playoff performers of all time. The only Yankee greater during the playoffs might be the iconic Lorenzo Berra, better known as Yogi Berra, who won 10 World Series rings with the Yankees. Or maybe Derek the Captain Jeter, who holds 5 World Series titles with the Yanks over a legendary 20-year career. Don Mattingly wishes he could have been a part of the Yankees World Series fun, having only played in 1 ALDS series which the Yankees lost, but an illustrious career nonetheless earned him the nickname Donnie Baseball for his fearless and energetic ball play. Other nicknames aren't so obvious and require a little more explanation, like Juan Childish Bambino Soto, who got his nickname by mashing Babe Ruth's The Great Bambino and Donald Glover's Childish Gambino together, or Javier El Mago Baez, who got his nickname because of how some of his tricks can only be explained by magic.
Baez with a steal, I think a delayed steal, and he's...
A little swim move here. And that left hand takes it away, reaches around the back corner.
Nice.
But Ken Griffey Jr.'s needed no fancy tricks to get his nickname. Griffey was an otherworldly talent and brought a winning culture to every franchise he played with. Baseball fans loved his free spirit and infectious smile, which reminded them of what it was like to play or watch baseball as a child. It didn't take long for his youthful charm to garner him the nickname The Kid, a nickname he has rode all the way into Cooperstown. Speaking of Cooperstown, we can't forget to add a player on this list who will almost surely find himself there someday, Shohei Ohtani, who puts on such a mesmerizing show every time he hits and pitches that he was given the nickname Showtime, a play on the Showtime nickname given to the famous Los Angeles Lakers basketball team of the 80s. And in the spirit of two-way players, it's time for the undoubted most famous nickname in sports history. George Herman Ruth, better known as Babe Ruth, was given his nickname through a pretty cool story. George grew up in an orphanage in Baltimore, and in his free time, he would play baseball at the school. One day, the owner of the Baltimore Orioles, Jack Dunn, visited the orphanage specifically to watch the babe he had heard so much about play baseball. Mr. Dunn was impressed, so much so that he signed the young George to a contract and agreed to be his legal guardian. George had lived in an orphanage nearly all his life, and leaving the safety of the school was very scary. In his first few weeks in the real world, he didn't know what to do or how to act, and found comfort in following his manager and guardian Jack Dunn everywhere. The other players thought this was amusing, and they commented, "Oh, there's Jack with his newest babe." This name stuck, and the rest is history. George became Babe Ruth, and his nickname grew to be the most recognized name in baseball or even sports history. While Babe is loved by almost all, there lives a franchise that wishes they could forget his entire existence. Because before Ruth's legendary success, the Red Sox traded him away to the Yankees in a deal which supposedly cursed the team from winning a championship for 86 years. This trade is widely considered to be the worst trade of all time. But there are other trades that general managers have made that aren't as well known but are just as horrible. Watch our video on the top 10 worst trades in baseball history to see just how bad baseball's worst GMs have hurt their fans. And if you're feeling nice, give Batters Box a quick subscribe so your favorite team can have good luck this year. Ciao!